you for joining us. Welcome to the program. We're coming to you from the Athena Hotel in Bugolobi. And tonight we're talking about fame and money. In the studio with me, I have Alexander Bagonza, who most of you know as APAS. He's a musician. Is there anything else that you do besides music?
I enjoy life.
You enjoy? He's a musician and an enjoyer of life. And next to him is Apollo Mboa, who is a customer financial advisor from NSSF, the National Social Security Fund. And like I said, tonight we're talking about fame and money. Let's say it as it is. Well, once again, thank you for joining us. And like I said, tonight we're talking about fame and money. I'll start with you, Apis. Tell me about yourself and your fame.
I happen to sing, I guess, and it got me famous. But I don't term myself as a famous person, but there's nothing I can do about it.
You're a famous person?
Yes, I am, and I appreciate that I do something for people, and they think I'm good. Some think I'm not good enough. Some think I'm great. Some think I'm not great. Some think I'm funny, and I think that's life, and that's I'm who I am.
They say that fame comes with a price. What price has it come with for you?
So much. I think I've learned to deal with people because you deal with so many people. When you're famous, then you're not just talking for yourself, you're talking for so many people. You stand for more than just yourself. It's not really like you go to work, do a couple of things, go back home. You're just dealing within your small space. So here you're dealing with so many people, expectations. They think you're this, they think you're that, they expect too much from you. They think you have their money, or whenever they meet you, you're on a border and they're also on a border. Like people feel like, oh, you owe them something. So the fame comes with so much because there are so much expectations from you and from the people. So I think it comes with a big price. You really want to do more than sometimes you should do. You want to outcompete yourself. You want to outdo yourself because you did something good and people want something better. They always want more. They always want more. Even when you drop a song if you dropped a song last week, they would tell you akapia kaliwa this week. So from last week to this week, you've already consumed that song. You need a new one immediately. So I think fame is a very big problem as well.
How long have you been famous? How long have you been in the limelight?
Limelight, I think I've been in the limelight even when I was at school. It's not even just something new. It's not something really like new to me. Like I've always been a happy guy, the funny one. The guy that people would pick out. So in the world,
yes.
In the world, I think 2014. 2014.
So that's about 5 years ago.
Yes, exactly.
How old
I think
are you?
2014. Guys, I'm 29.
You're 29.
1989.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the last 5 years, have you struggled with money?
Yeah, I guess, because we live and learn. And I feel like from 2014, the way I was using money is very different from how I use money now.
How are you using it?
I use it to buy things that can really have more value from years from now than just buy things and be known for having a nice Gucci belt.
Is that in 2014 or now?
In 2014, I thought I needed a nice belt. I needed 4 phones. I needed these 3 computers. I thought I needed things, only to find out that I needed probably 1 or 2. And there would be a reason for me having those things, and I would invest more money into other things, not just one particular thing, just to show people that I'm dressed nice and all that. So I think there was so much. There's so much to learn from those 5 years, because in the beginning I was young, I would say, and I was new to the life. From not earning any money, you just sit at at studio creating music to people calling you for a wedding and they're paying $2,000. You're overwhelmed. But at the same time, I still had a mindset that I needed a studio. So from 2014, I was actually buying studio equipment.
Okay.
My focus was to have something of my own because I felt like going to people's studios and working at what time they wanted wasn't working for me. So I think in that time I was confused, but at the same time,
Careful.
I was trying to be careful and strategic about what I really, really needed. So I think from that time to now, I think I'm a little wiser, and I learn more even now. There's so much to learn.
What's been your biggest check in 2014? What was the biggest check?
2014, I think it was 8 million. The first 8 million I got.
What did you do with it?
I bought 3 phones.
How much was each phone?
Each phone, I think I bought some Nokia phone, some dope phone. Then I bought an HTC, and I bought a BlackBerry Z10. So I think that all those phones, I think they're around maybe 2.9, 2.8, roughly. And I thought that was like some cool stuff.
What did you do with the rest of the money?
I bought speakers.
Okay, so that was studio
For the
equipment.
studio.
So you've been balancing it out pretty well.
I tried, but I think I wasted so much money on certain things I really didn't need. I was buying tabs and all. I don't really need a tab. I have a computer. I have this. So, and I also bought a computer, my first computer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Apollo, I see you taking notes.
Yeah.
What is going through your mind? I know you've interacted with, by virtue of you being a customer financial advisor, you've interacted with ordinary people, and then you've interacted with famous people.
True.
What are the habits that are common?
EPAS has just brought it out. One of the habits, or one of the something, to be wealthy is more of habits. 95% habits, 5% money. So when you get money and you buy a Gucci belt, I mean, you need to buy these things. You are the person who is getting the money. But how much of that money, what percentage of it is going to buying what we call, I want to use the word stuff. Now, stuff are things which pose themselves as things you need. At the time you have money, you actually think you need that. You ask yourself, how can I live without not having a Gucci belt? How do normal people move around without a Gucci belt? Just because you have.
I can answer that.
Yeah. Just because you have money. But over time, you have to get to understand that if you're building wealth, or what we call the rich, buying stuff does not necessarily make you rich. You will one day walk into your wardrobe, the famous wardrobe. You will walk into it, you have walk-in wardrobes. And then you look around all your clothes and then you finalize by saying, I have no clothes to wear. What does that indicate? That you've been accumulating stuff. You're clearly looking at clothes, but you have nothing to wear that morning. That means what you've been accumulating is stuff. So if you are to go into the wealth journey, you need to accumulate assets. I'm becoming a student. You saw me before we got on air, getting lessons from him. Yeah, I was keenly taking down notes on the things he's been talking about. Someone who's on the wealthy journey accumulates assets. People confuse becoming wealthy with becoming mean. That if you're becoming wealthy, that means you don't spend on yourself, you don't eat well, everything you get, you invest. No. Actually, financially intelligent people live a good life. They live a generous life because they have budgeted, they know what to give out, they know how much, and most of this money is coming from an asset. An asset is something that brings money into your pocket. For example, now, the speakers you bought, they are bringing money into your pocket.
Sure.
The 3 phones he bought
are they bringing money?
are taking money out of the pocket.
They don't even have.
So now that is when you reach a point and you understand what my asset is and what my liability is, or what stuff is. A car. Sometimes it's looked as an asset, but it's a liability to most. You clearly need to drive a Vitz, but you are looking for a Kruger. So the Kruger is a liability. The Vitz would be an asset to you. So I've interacted with a number of people just as you asked, and these are traits that you will find in it. It's human nature. People will have that urge of, let me get something because it's going to define me. I have gotten money, I've been paid at NSSF, I've been paid 200 million, and then all of a sudden our life changes. Your temperature changes. You can't sit until that money is
put to use.
Is put to use. Use. How we define that use is a different thing. But my main thing is the habit is to accumulate assets.
Not status symbols.
Thank you. Staff, which we will call staff actually.
I was going to say, how do you see a person on a board?
I keep asking myself. I wouldn't want to tell you about myself, but Josephine, if you are Josephine, you are a brand. Being on a board is not going to bring down your brand. You get, you are Josephine. You are a pass.
Sure.
You have value. It's not the car you drive that is value to you. As in, money is a tool. When you become financially intelligent, money becomes a tool. When you are, a term I picked up from you the last time we met, the new poor, you are slaving for money. You are working for money. So money makes you do so many things. You are a slave to money. You are not a master of money. So take as many borders as you want. It's
I
not.
do that.
It's the feeling that to be famous in a certain sense, like I asked him, puts a price on your head. The expectations people have on you. I'm sure when you go to parties and things, you're expected to give more than everybody else. You're expected to spend more.
Yeah.
And lately we see people just dish.
And the thing is, you get to ask yourself, expectations of who? Are they my expectations? Are they their expectations? My expectation is I need to be somewhere. I am dedicating time to come to your wedding. Your expectation is I see a fridge, I see a house when this guest comes. That's your problem. It's not my problem. How you meet your expectation, it's independent of me. So I just believe those are wrong expectations. Again, I usually want to use because what's the opposite of intelligent? If you're not intelligent, you are?
You're unclever.
You're financially unclever. Josephine's words. So the financially unclever people will have such expectations.
Apas, have you had scenarios where the expectation on you financially has been so great, and what have you done about it?
So great in what context?
So we see people having to accumulate stuff that they don't need, and I don't mean clothes. I mean like actual big things that are bigger than where you are at that point in your life.
I have not gotten to a level where I got anything I cannot handle.
How do you manage your money?
I just try to put it in things that I care about. The first big investment I've ever made was buying myself a studio, because I'm a musician, someone who creates music. So I felt like I need to buy. The first big thing shouldn't be a house, shouldn't be all that. I can rent a house other than just have my own house. A house can also not fail to be an asset. And I just rent. So I decided to actually invest in a studio before I do anything. So that was like one of the biggest things I've ever done, is to invest in myself. And I don't think I made a mistake. But I wouldn't say the small mistakes I made were small ones. Right now I can't.
You can't make the same mistake.
I cannot. Those were back then.
I want to know about those mistakes. So let's take a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. We're coming to you from the Athena Hotel in Bugolobi, and we're talking about fame and money tonight. Apas, you were talking about the mistakes that you made that you would never make again.
Surrounding myself with weird people who do not see the bigger picture. That was one of the biggest mistakes. Being around people, wasting too much time talking about things that don't help me or don't help me grow. I think was the worst thing. When I invested time more into reading, which I take very serious, I have a big library. And other than going and buying shots in the club, I buy a book. I buy 2 books, I buy 3 books. And I think the change from having people who are thinking about small funny things and not bigger things was one big mistake, because the people around me were very short term, and I was looking long term. Up to now, most of those people are still thinking short term, and I'm looking at the long marathon, not just a race like we're running 100 like Bolt. It's a marathon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apollo, what's the clever thing to do when you're A+ and you're 25, 24, and you're starting out, and you know your path seems to be late, you're headed for big things? What's the clever thing to do? He's letting go of friends, right? Of people who are not supposed to be in his circle. He's focusing on assets.
He's actually drawing up a journey. But just to be clear, I won't be A+. I am past the age of 24. I am way above 24. But if I wanted to be A+, maybe it's a bit late, but there are people, actually you have so many people looking up to you.
Yeah.
I think today I might even get a number of handshakes and hugs just because I was talking to you. Just for them. But if you are looking at making it in wherever you want to make it, the key thing is to dream. Someone needs to have the ability to dream. Now, you do not wake up like an accident and you think things are going to just fall on you. You have to dream and picture yourself somewhere. Now, when you have the ability to picture yourself somewhere, you invoke motivation in yourself to work towards that dream. You may not get, probably I want to be a billionaire in USD currency. I may not get there, but if I have dreamt about it, even the things I start seeing, my perspective of things changes. Slowly I will attract friends who are more on that path. So the key thing is you need to be able to dream, learn, invest in yourself, learn, and then act. Number 3 is act. Because when you act, that is when you are bringing your dream closer to you. You're bringing your belief, you're bringing your faith, and everything, you're narrowing this gap. To borrow from one person, a gentleman from Enterprise Uganda, he says, action changes things. Now, for you to act, when you act, you actually change things. And for you to change things in your life, you need to have realized, where do I want to change things to? So the beginning point is dream. I want to pick up something about what EPAS brought, and there is an interesting explanation about fame. It comes from a book by Straightforward Financial Growth by Moses Mukisa. He's a pastor, but a coach in the financial world. So he says there is a thermometer and a thermostat. Now, picture your money being a thermometer and the environment around you, your ability to think, the thermostat. Now, you'll always find that the thermostat is set at certain degrees. In this room, you can be able to control the thermostat. Yeah. Put it at 20, but it doesn't control the temperature outside. Now, every individual, APAS, all, they have a thermostat. Now, where do you put your thermostat? You are 24, and you put your thermostat at dreaming big, becoming a star. But you are nobody at that point. So you will, when whatever you are doing falls in place, that is the temperature rising. You'll be able to, your thermostat is able to accommodate. Yeah. Now, some people's temperatures have risen, but their thermostats are still down. Their money has come in. They are bringing huge sums of money, but their ability to handle money is actually very, very low. So you are receiving 100 million, but your ability to handle money is actually at 10 million. So what will you do with 100 million? You will actually first break it into multiples of 10 million, because your ability to think is around 10 million. So you'll start thinking for planning for 10 million. But you'll be lucky to have those other multiples, the 9 multiples. You will concentrate on one, 10 million.
Finish it.
And the other 9 million sort of goes into stuff. You understand? So you need to have the ability to dream, to set your thermostat to a figure you don't have, so that when it comes in, you're actually able to manage it. That's why we have the famous people ending up famously broke. At one point, they have really brought in money. I don't want to mention names, but they have really brought in money. But at certain point, you are hearing that you have been in the limelight for some, and then we are passing around a charity something for your
car wash.
A car wash for maybe you need a kidney or something, and it's what, 100 million. So their thermostat, it was never adjusted. The temperature got up, so when they get money, they get very uneasy.
But you're not really thinking, when you speak about disease and you're speaking about their money,
Now
that's a little.
I don't want to focus on that, but for any human being, you should have some fundamentals in place.
For example,
you can never put aside enough money to cater for your disease, because diseases come in very different formats. But then you need to have the basics. You do not get a 10 million disease and you one time earn 50 million and you are fundraising. It just, there's a disconnect there. There are those, you need $100,000, and probably the best, and you have a beginning point. But here we are doing a car wash, doing so many things, and then parading you. Now your fame, your poverty is becoming your selling point. It's not right. It's not right. I know disease is the extreme, but let's go to the basics. Let's go to the easy bits. You are famous and you fail to take your children to school. As in, how do you explain that? You are famous, but you have also famously spaced your children across all districts. Across all districts. And how do you explain that? That's why I usually emphasize that financial intelligence is all about habits. Nothing to do with money. Nothing to do with money, because Josephine, you've worked with persons, and you probably have realized someone who earns so maybe less than a number of people, but they are the loan shark in that office.
Yeah.
The managers, I'll tell APAS this, we the people in the corporate world, swinging around name tags. Being driven, I came in a Ford, I was driven in a Ford, being driven in those SC Ford. We are living like street children.
We're the borrowers. You are the borrowers.
We are living like street children. But we have this whole bit of, I am a manager. I'm a manager of this. But you're a manager of so many departments, but never a manager of your own life. So it's just not right.
Epas, when he spoke about planning for things like health, and what is it like for you in your sector?
I never worry about life, because life is what it is, and health is something we need to look at. But at the same time, you need to watch what you eat, because you are what you eat. I think I'm healthy enough. I don't get sick. That's a very rare thing for me since I was a kid. So
it's not a factor for you?
It is, but because other people get sick around me. So if I need to help, I do. But I wouldn't. Me personally, I just watch what I eat. So I wouldn't dwell on something that has not really existed, but I'm always planning to make sure that I'm in good condition if anything happens.
So your plan for health is to be healthy?
Yes, I just want to be healthy. I just watch what I eat. I watch how I do stuff. I watch where I go.
Do you have control of all the borders and the taxis on the street? You use borders?
Yes, I have to have control of who I'm dealing with, who is moving me around. And in the end, you need to know who takes you around. If that person just moves anyhow, he's lousy and whatever, you're in danger, you're in trouble. Okay. And you just have to set guidelines of how people are going to treat you. Because if you don't, then they will treat you the way they like. Someone just drive you around full speed, not caring that. Me personally, I'm a business. I am a moving business, so I take my life very serious. My movement is very limited. My mobility is very limited. I'm never at home. I'm never in clubs all the time.
Yeah,
it doesn't excite
see you
me.
at home in the videos.
Yes, I'm ever at home, which is funny, but it's the reality. So most people expect you, because you're an artist, be out there, show people that you're balling, spend money. Like I've never spent even 100,000 in a club. Never. I don't even think I've spent 50,000 in a club.
I see people have receipts of what, 8 million?
30 million?
30 million in one night?
Yes, it comes down to how much money you have and how you got it. And if I am hustling very hard to get my money, I'm not spending it uselessly.
And also their thermostat.
Okay.
The thinking capacity is different, and how we think about what we have. The way I think about my microphone, when I bought it, approximately 12 million, just one of my microphones. I wouldn't want anyone to just touch it. You're touching it, how? Who are you? You need to understand that this is something I invested in, and it's not to be touched. Even me, I don't touch it. I put it somewhere and it's supposed to be there. It's for singing, not for touching. So I need to know how I'm handling things on my end.
Do you think, from being in your industry, and I'm sure you've seen how your contemporaries spend their money, what they do with it, do you think there is need for financial literacy, perhaps?
Intelligence.
I don't know if you can teach intelligence.
I think we need it. I think I need it personally.
Because we see stars and then we see them at the very end and they have nothing.
But that goes not just for Ugandan artists. You have to understand that that's one of the biggest things even in America, because people sign contracts they don't understand. You sit down, you've not read things very well, you don't really have a serious lawyer, you're dealing with the lawyer of the company that's giving you the contract, the deal. They are sitting you down. So yes, exactly. They've planned out everything. They want you to sign your masters for 25 years. Well, that means they're controlling all your music. Everything that you have is theirs. It's a master. It's theirs. So for you not to understand that and just give it to them because you're not financially intelligent, or you're not even emotionally intelligent, even to think about things like in a different way, or get other people to help you who may know more. You may know more and I need you. I'll call you. I'm like, I'm thinking of something like this. What is your thought about it? It's very good to have people that you could talk to that know more than you know. It is so bad to be around people who you know more than, and you cannot add anything to yourself through them. You only add much to them. So it's a very big problem. And I think that is where I personally want to put my time so that I can learn from that. From whoever I give my time should be that person who can put me to the next level, whether it's a book, whether it's like a video on YouTube. I just don't want to spend time just watching Eminem, watching how he says he's cool, how he can stamp you on the throat, how he, like, it really won't do much for me. So I would love to learn. I would love to learn because there's so much.
What are you reading now?
The book I'm actually going to read, it's called Who Moved My Cheese? Yes, someone must have moved my cheese. So I want to find out who moved my cheese.
Apple.
Yes. Before you come in, there is something interesting he brought up. Who do you go to for your advice? I was in a conference one time, and a marriage conference, and someone was telling us that you need to have someone, you need to know someone that your spouse, that moves your spouse, that if they do something to you, you can actually go to them and they can reprimand, or I don't know, I don't remember that.
They can intercede on,
exactly,
you know,
as in someone they respect.
Yeah.
Now, who is that person that you go to for financial advisory? That's a question I'm always asking people out there. Our statistics have shown us that 56%, we pay people money. 56% of them go to a household member or a relative. Now, I get 200 million. When I talk of a household member, what comes to my mind is a house help. You're probably going to your house help. You're going to
a sibling.
A sibling, yes. Or you have Apple who works at NSSF, and because he works in the finance department, you say, he's good at finance. He should give me good advice. And then what does Apple tell you? Buy cars. Cars work. And Aksomera did. So we go by that bit. Who do you really go to? That's a very keen thing about money. Who do you go to for that advice? At NSSF, you're trying to form that for our members so that you can find a place. We put together experts. You come and you want to talk about agriculture. He's going to be into agriculture in the next 2 years.
Yeah, in the next 2 years.
I'll enroll in an academy for agriculture. So you want to do agriculture, we put you in a room, not just a room to study. Literacy is overrated. We take you to the farm. Yeah, we take you to the farm, and you spend a day there, and then you start gauging, do I really want to be in this life? If yes, then you come back and we give you more insight. Mm-hmm. So those are things we're trying to put together, but NSSF cannot do so much. You can do those things for yourselves. You need to look out, look, who are you asking for advice from? As in, that is the person.
I'm asking Google.
Mr.
Let's
Google,
take a short break and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back. We're coming to you from the Athena Hotel, and tonight we're speaking about fame and money. Apple, I was looking at something you shared with me, and it says you start by picturing the end.
Yeah.
Then you go to the easy bits first.
Mm-hmm.
Then tough times may happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to take me through this wheel up to number?
Briefly, I call it my petal. A petal is a flower, a part of the flower. Remember petal in SST science? Yeah, science. So, for anything that you need to do, be it a financial goal, be it your goal, your emotional goal, be it a marriage, you need to picture that, and where do you want to be at a certain point. Don't wake up like an accident. You need to know where do you want to be in 5 years, in 2 years, in next week. Some of us actually don't know what we're going to be doing next week. So you need to have the ability to picture the end. And when you have that picture of the end in mind, then start with the easy bits first. That's the E. Start with easy things. Don't start with, if I want to be a billionaire, I will start with getting 1 billion. No.
Do you want to make this practical by asking APAS, for example, you want to get into agriculture? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm. Do we start with the end?
Yeah. APAS is going to be in agriculture. He's pictured himself as an agriculture somewhere. Yeah. So I need you to picture yourself as who? As a commercial farmer, as a breeder, you need to have that picture. Mm. Now once you have that picture, bring it home. Start with the easy bits first. Easy bits is not buying the animals, buying the land. It's acquiring the information. Getting to talk to some of the people who have been in that field. Getting to love it. Do you love it? Dedicating time. Easy bits. Tough times will come. Every time you have a goal that is worthwhile, believe me, tough times come. Some people would want to call it bad luck, other people would want to call it juju, but tough times will come.
So
but
for example, if APAS goes into chicken, then they get
don't be surprised that you will wake up one day and all of them, not dead, someone came and carried them. But then you get out of the tough times with lessons. Now that is a valuable thing. You get out with lessons.
Security.
You understand now. I need to get a guard with a bow and arrow, or I need to get oh, I need to hire the thieves themselves to be my guys. So you get lessons. But whatever you do, you need to form accountability partners. Most of us are where we are, and we shall tell people that we are where we wanted to be. But when we go back down, we probably wanted to be pilots, doctors. But because there is no accountability partner, no one is going to prompt you and say, hey, by the way, you wanted to be...
What happened?
What happened?
What happened? What did you want to be?
Me? My plan A was my plan B.
So
I wanted to be a musician.
now, if Epas here has told us he wants to be an agriculture, in 2 years, he wants to be in agriculture, he's creating accountability partners. 2 years we will look for him, we'll ask him, is the farm there? And when you get accountability partners, not your friends. Actually, send it to the haters. Haters will propel you to do things that you've never thought of doing, because you have that whole image that if I fail, these guys are going to come out laughing.
I'm finished.
So that propels you. You wake up at night and actually you start feeding the chicken, just to make sure that these haters, when 2 years they come and they say, so you said you're going to do chicken farming. Where are you? You tell them, I'm not so far, but I am here. And finally, always look where others are not looking. Don't follow the crowd. You need to be unique. I'm not saying reinvent the wheel, but there are places you need to look at. Now, you are going to into farming, probably is going to go into, let's say, chicken. I've painted a picture for myself, chicken. But who's looking at genetics, chicken? Maybe he needs to be a breeder. That's not something that has been happening for chicken. So let him look at where others are not looking at. I'm not saying that's the only part, but there's so many things that people are not looking at.
True. You have
and
a point.
For me, that is what I call my wow peto. And once I go through that, I now am joining what I call the walk of winners,
Right.
or the world of
World of
wealthy,
wealth. Wins on work.
or wings of
Wins on work.
wings of work.
Of work. Okay.
Yeah, the wings of my work.
Epas, what's your take home from this conversation?
I've gotten to know about that, which is great, and I've gotten to see that there is more that I need to know, and that's major, because I had a conversation with someone who's into cows. So because I love cows, like I see them and I'm like, wow, that purple cow is so adorable. It's different. So it's special. So I've looked at a couple of things and I feel like that's the direction I want to take. As I'm passing time making music is the easiest thing I would ever do. It's technical, whatever, but I would love to venture into other things that make sense. We've already started with merchandising with the APAS brand, which is still simple because it's within what I do. So I want to go into things that don't even look like me. That is where I actually want to go and see and just experiment and see how things go. With not so much expectations, but with expectations of winning. Yeah, though
Looking
sometimes
where
I
others are not
lose. But I'll try and I'll go there and see how things work, because you never know where life will take me.
Don't worry.
After 10 years.
Tough times come.
Exactly.
But
We've done music and you see days where you say that this is the song and it's actually not the one. You think it will work and it doesn't work. So I'm used to that, and I'm used to taking chances. I think with music we take so many chances, more than any other person. So many people can't say, oh, I'm going to really invest that. You invest in a video 14 to 15 million.
How much do you get back?
With the hope that you'll get enough shows that will bring back that money.
You said you're not really big on shows.
I'm not really big on shows. I'm big with working with different companies, endorsements, and also selling the music. So if shows come out, I do them, but the money has to be right. I do not want to be treated like my fellow Ugandan artists because people just promise them funny things. Or I'm taking you to Dubai, then you sing for clothes. Really? You want me to come, I sing for clothes? Really? I'm good. So it doesn't work for me that way. So shows really have to come down to the value that I think should be the value that should be met. to have me on the show, not really what you think, because I also invest in my work to bring it to you. So if you tell me that you want to pay me 2 million and I probably think it should be 6, then we're on the wrong page.
The power of negotiation.
Exactly.
We're closing our show, and I'd like you to have your final say on this conversation we're talking about, fame and money. What would you like to put out there?
I think people should, in general, not just even artists. I think people should be ready to be coached, to be schooled. And the moment we are not ready to be schooled or taught, I don't think we
by
can.
life?
By other people and by life, because life has already schooled people, but I think it's not enough. So someone may be making mistakes, but there are so many more that he may not notice, and the person may notice very far ahead of life that maybe I wish I did this, I had the chance to do this. I hate regretting, so I love to learn, and I think if we invest more time in being a little open-minded, wanting to get to know from people that probably are not the people we usually talk to every day. You're not comfortable that you only talk to your dad, and your dad has a certain understanding about things that may not be at the level where you have to go. You probably need him. You need to go to him and see how things work, because maybe your dad is at a level that can't get you where he could get you. So I think we need to be open-minded, and that's what I take out of here, because with what I came in my mind with to come here, I'm getting different understanding and feedback from you guys, so it's a blessing.
All right. Well, Apollo, your final comments, but also while you're giving them, I just remembered you have somebody as young as Fresh Kid, right? Who's just starting out and he's famous, and his money is going somewhere. While you close us up, what are your thoughts on all of that?
It comes back to management, financial management. I don't know if his money is going somewhere. It may look like it's going somewhere, but it's actually going nowhere. And he, at a young life, he might end up actually. We've seen the kids, the Ricardo kids, ending up broke. They were famous from such a young age, and then broke at a later stage. Let the people around him not confuse him. He needs his education. They need to manage him actually more aggressively.
Don't you think he's already failed?
I hate to say that, because
he's young enough to
but I in his words, I would actually use his words. He already started off.
He's on a bad road, because in my understanding, I've never talked about this kid. I really feel bad about how he's being treated. I feel like you cannot be having cameras on a young kid all the time, going to school, he's joining his first day. That kid cannot go with the mindset of a kid that is going to study.
True.
Because he feels like he's made it in life. Like this experience they are giving him is a bad one. So I really feel like it's a problem.
So there's need for management, proper management. Actually, not just managing him, but managing the people around him. There's proper management.
Somebody needs to manage the people around him who are managing him.
Yes.
That's
and aggressive management, not just. I look at him as a parent. I am saddened. I love my kid to do so many things, but I wouldn't. I don't know. It's a mix. But as we close this up, I just need to implore people to have. I want to use these words: open-minded. Whatever you know. Josephine, I'll use your example. Whatever you know, in the next 2 years, it may be irrelevant. So you need to be out there learning things. Things are coming up and they're disrupting everything. So are the finances. So if your father managed the farm well, and you are going to take it up, you need an entirely new skill to take it up.
The world doesn't stand still.
Exactly.
Do you think that famous people need people managing them? Because maybe you're caught up in the excitement of what's around you. You're not really paying attention to the money and how you're managing it.
Actually, the first thing they need to get after, I think maybe they need a manager, but they need a business manager. They need a business manager. That's the profession we haven't developed in Uganda, and probably because of our trust issues, your business manager steals your money. But we need to, you could reach out to professional firms. There are investment managers there. They will manage your money, because this, you need to reach a time when your money is actually working for you. So to stop working for money.
Right. Thank you both so much. Thank you, Epas. And thank you,
thanks.
Apollo, so much for coming to the show.
You're welcome.
I hope we'll take these nuggets of wisdom and put them into our own lives. Well, that brings us to the end of our show for tonight. Coming up is NTV Weekend Edition.